we started doing the Open for Business to hold a space open for business owners to come on and tell us what they were doing when the shutdown, the COVID shutdown first happened. Tell us what they were doing, whether they're still trading. But we've kind of evolved, and now this is a lovely platform, again, still for business owners to come on and actually just share what they do, how they got started, any challenges, and really so we can get a feel for what it's like to be in business I was going to say in the UK, but actually we have guests all over the world. So in business, anywhere, at any time. If you're watching on the live, please do chuck a little, let us know where you're watching from. If you've got any questions, then obviously drop the questions in the comments. We always love to see those. If you're watching on the replay, then obviously if you whack #replay, so we know. And if you ask any questions again, don't worry, I shall find out the answers. And if I can't find out the answers because my guest isn't here, I shall, of course, make them up. I'm only kidding. I would never dream of making them up. I would just go and make sure that we got the answers. Today, we are very lucky. We have got Tania Lopez today. She helps parents with their parenting, compassionate parenting. Also a hypnotist. So she's a fascinating lady. I can't wait to meet her. So let's bring her straight on. And Tania, lovely to see you. So please do tell us a little bit about your background and how you actually started the compassionate parenting.
Okay, so I'm Tania and I'm from Full Circle Hypnotherapy. So I've been working with parents for about 20 years. And about 5 years ago, I decided to train as a hypnotherapist. I'd actually had hypnotherapy myself years ago and could see the benefits of it. So I decided to train. And then, so initially when I first became a hypnotherapist, I was seeing clients for anxiety, for stress, for fears and phobias. And then I kind of thought, why don't I combine my kind of experience of parenting with hypnotherapy? So, I've worked as a teacher, I've worked as a counsellor. So I just thought I would bring all my kind of experience and qualifications. And so what I do is work with mums who are struggling with the children's behaviour to create peace and harmony. So I use a combination of hypnotherapy and coaching for that.
Okay, so you're doing that. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into the hypnotherapy? It's something I've often wondered about having a go is the wrong word. Something I've always wondered about being trained in, because I'm fascinated by the subject. So what actually, you said you had a bit of hypnotherapy for yourself. Could you explain what happened there, and then why you then obviously experienced it and then went and learned yourself, because that's fascinating. I'd love to know.
Yeah, I guess this is part of the reason why I'm doing this. That I've had hypnotherapy myself, and it was really it worked really well for me, and I could just see how the kind of subconscious really dictates so much of our patterns and habits and behaviors, and I could just see how this would really help people. So and I've always been fascinated, when you've tried really hard to change a habit consciously and not been able to do it, or try to do it for a short while, and then you've relied on your willpower or whatever, and then after a while you've gone back to what you've always done. So yeah, I was just really fascinated by it all myself. And then I decided to train and really learn about how you can use the power of suggestion to kind of work with all kinds of things, work with self-limiting beliefs, work with underlying habits and underlying reasons for habits and patterns. So yeah, that's kind of what got me into this. And I suppose in terms of the parenting, I don't know if you want me to say a little bit about the compassionate parenting and what it means to me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Go with the flow.
And
every now and again, I might just stop.
Yeah. So for me, compassionate parenting isn't just about parents being compassionate with their children. It's also about showing themselves compassion. And also, I think, just broadly speaking, I think it's also about parents showing other parents compassion, and also non-parents showing compassion to both parents and children. Because I feel like the field of parenting is absolutely filled with, comparison, criticism, judgment, imposter syndrome, that everybody's got to show this perfect vision of being a parent who does everything right. So you don't get harshly judged. So you don't, like people are really afraid of being found out. Actually, I'm not as good as everybody thinks I am. So let's push out this perfect image. I suppose it's a field that really then impacts on children when everybody's trying to create this perfect image. So compassion, I feel like it's it's a community thing. Compassionate parenting. It's not just about how a parent is with their child. It's like how everyone is with parents and children, whether you're a parent or not.
Cool. And so how do you do that with your hypnotherapy? Because I mean,
So
actually, I'll just backtrack a minute because actually, yeah, this is so true about the parenting. What you were just saying, because there are, yes, there are books on it, but there's no, you're not hardwired into knowing exactly what's right or wrong. I mean, I guess you have a feel for what's right. So how would people come to you if they need your, or how would they identify if they need your service or your help or your...
So usually it's when people think that there's a problem with their child's behaviour, they think that it's their child that needs help. So they're struggling with some kind of behaviour, or they find that the child is just really triggering them. So they come in kind of thinking, I need to fix my child. It's their behaviour. And so through working with me, I guess I kind of get them to look at the behaviour in a different way. Is there something behind the behaviour? So rather than just trying to get rid of the behaviour, it's kind of looking at what is that behaviour telling us? What is it that the child really needs? So I suppose a lot of behaviour is about unmet needs, unmet feelings. So if we can try and meet those needs, sometimes that's enough. So really my focus isn't about trying to get rid of the behaviour. It's really about kind of understanding what's going on behind the behaviour. And I guess the hypnotherapy comes in because sometimes it's really hard for a parent to let a child just be. It's like they have to mold them into becoming more acceptable, becoming more, I don't know, likable or something. It's about changing them in some way. And then it's kind of realizing, is it really about the child or is it something in me? What was going on in my childhood that makes me not accept this human being that's come through exactly as they are? And yeah, so it's kind of helping parents realize what their own triggers are, where they've come from, and neutralize them so they can parent in a really loving, kind way,
Yeah.
without bringing all their past baggage into the current parenting relationship they're in.
Wow, that's really fascinating. I'm going to pick up on that, but we just want to quickly say, look, we've got the lovely Cara is watching us. We are not alone. That's always a nice.
Oh, lovely Cara.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's such a supportive platform we have here. So going into that's fascinating because you think, yeah, and I think we're all guilty of it. Is that, yeah, if we have a child, then we're just going to take all the stuff that was baggaged onto us through childhood and then through adulthood, and depending on where you are when you have children, quite early adulthood potentially, and then just transfer all that onto your child and actually not giving them their free will and expression. And
Yeah.
I would say that's quite an important thing, allowing the child to grow and discover themselves. And is that the sort of thing that you're able to, through your compassionate parenting, enable the parent to give the child a little more leeway
Yeah, so I suppose it's about kind of allowing the child, the human being that they are, allowing them to be, rather
Mm.
than kind of pushing them in one direction or another. Because I mean, a lot of people say, you know, we've never been given a parenting book, but actually we've all been given a parenting kind of download because of the way we were parented. And now, unfortunately, this program that's been downloaded could have viruses in it, could need rebooting, need upgrading.
Yeah,
You know, so there's lots of different things going on in there. So yeah, we all have like this kind of blueprint for how to parent, but we've got to check to see what are some of the things in the blueprint that might not work for the situation that you find yourself in. Because maybe you had an idea about how things would be when you had your child, and the child that's come to you is very different from that idea. Yeah, so it can be quite tricky, especially, you know, when you were maybe controlled as a child, and then you've got a child here with free will.
exactly. Yeah.
What do you do? And how do you not let your own kind of um, the paradigm that you were brought up in, which was about control and trying to push your child into a certain way, how do you not allow that to kind of direct your parenting? So I do feel like, you know, the field of parenting is filled with insecurity. Everybody's always questioning, am I doing it right, am I doing it wrong? And I suppose a lot of my work is about kind of really just accepting the human being and really focusing on connection. And I suppose one of the reasons that I feel like I've come into this is, I feel like I've spent 20 years trying to get over my childhood. And wouldn't it be great if children in the future didn't spend like 20 years going into therapy, going into healing? Because actually, all of that, people do all of that to start to love themselves again. And if we had that acceptance and we had that kind of parenting, then maybe we wouldn't go searching for love in the wrong places. We wouldn't be in therapy for years and years looking for a way to, looking for a way back to ourselves, looking for a way to accept ourselves as we are, looking to love ourselves for who we are, rather than what we do or how acceptable we are to other people or how much we contribute to society. So we're not being measured by any of those metrics. We're really just allowing ourselves to be, and to feel that we're worthy of love. Because why would anybody not be worthy of love? And so many adults, including myself, you know, when you feel you're not worthy of love, you do spend so many years looking for it.
That's so true. And actually, it reminds me of me. I mean, I'm not a parent, and I spent the vast majority of my 20s and 30s, until I met my wife. Just not wanting to be a dad, because I was riddled with the doubt of I'd probably be. Just in my head, I was thinking I'd probably be rubbish at it. And then, and it's like such a responsibility. I don't normally shirk from responsibility, but it is a massive one. And it's only when I got older that I sort of thought, actually, no, actually, I think I'd be quite a good dad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do. I've got lots of nieces and nephews, so they were great. Oh, we got Cara saying, yes, she worries all the time about what's the right way, and yeah, we're that inner child looking for love and acceptance, and that's true, isn't it? If we loved and accepted ourselves unconditionally, then we can love and accept and guide in the same way. And we've also got the lovely Jem Piggott watching as well. She's great. I love Jem.
Hello.
Um, so Tanya, so have you had any challenges along the way getting started? I mean, actually, can you tell us also how you actually go about getting your clients?
So as I was saying, when I first started doing hypnotherapy, I was focusing mainly on anxiety and stress and things like that. So this is kind of a new shift for me. Um, so I'm still in the process of getting clients and working with them. I have worked with a few clients, and it's been fantastic, and I've really loved it. But yeah, I'm still in the process of, putting myself out there and getting known for what I'm doing. It seemed to be quite easy to get clients with anxiety.
Yeah.
And I suppose a lot of people don't understand how hypnotherapy goes with parenting, because people immediately think, oh, right, here's my child. Can you deal with them? And it's not about doing anything to the child. It's about working with the parents, it's working with the adult to kind of neutralize some of the things that are going on for us, so we can be really truly present for the child and allow their presence as well as they are. So, and I suppose, the things that I love seeing when I've worked with parents is seeing them kind of come to the realization that it's not about the child, it's not about changing them. And it's great when a parent or whoever it is that's with the child just starts accepting them for who they are. And they can really see that there's actually nothing wrong with that child. There's nothing that they're doing that's so terrible that they need fixing. And I think we are in a culture, where we have this fixing mindset. Like a lot of parents come saying, can I be given some tools, tips and strategies? And I think, what other relationship do we go into where we think, do you know what, I need a set of tools, tips and strategies for this relationship? So it's like you go into this parenting relationship with a toolkit because you feel like something needs fixing. So it's like, not treating everyone like they're broken and need fixing. It's like we're all imperfect, absolutely, and we're all perfect within, with those imperfections. So, yeah, it's always a challenge when people want strategies, tips, tools. Tell me what to do, how to do it, and tell me how to fix. And then, it's lovely when you come to the realization that actually I just need to, in fact, it's the parents' journey into self-love as well. For the parents to go back to themselves and think, as a child, all the places where they've kind of shut down, so they can't really be fully present and in the space of love for whoever comes into their lives. So yeah, it's a journey back to themselves, and then hopefully the child is already getting that. So as an adult, they don't have to then do the journey back to themselves as an adult.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do any of the parents actually, is that one of the things they ask you? They say, oh, Tania, can you hypnotize our child? And
Yeah. So I do get messages
the
from people. Yeah, so that I have had messages from people saying, right, so is it my child that you need to work with? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be working with the child. And I think that always comes as a bit of a revelation for people, that if you're thinking that your child is the problem, then surely they're the ones you need to be working with, and not me, because I'm just a parent, and I feel like I'm doing what I can, and it's the child that needs fixing. So that can be quite a bit of a mind shift.
Yeah, that's it. Well, and Cara, I believe Cara's with you on that one. It sounds amazing. that's
Oh, thank you, Cara.
really cool. And yeah, so I'm guessing then one of my questions was going to be, what does success look like to you? And that's success. I take that in two ways. Success as in when you've been able to deliver your compassionate parenting, and is there, I guess it might be, how long is a piece of string? It takes as long as it takes to get a result. But is that, so that the success, what would that look like to you from that angle? And also, what would success for you in doing this look like for you as well?
Good question. So I suppose success in terms of kind of working with parents would look like a parent not wanting to fix their child anymore, kind of realizing actually just allowing the child to be. And that's not about kind of saying that all behavior is acceptable, and that we have to accept any behaviors that we get. It's about really accepting the human being, that the person, the presence of the child. So success is a parent kind of finding self-love for themselves and realizing that You know, there's nothing wrong with them. A lot of parents are feeling like they're failures, and they go through this constant shifting. If their child does what they want, then I'm okay as a parent. As soon as their child does something that could be embarrassing, that's unacceptable, then everyone must think I'm a bad parent. So, it's this constant good and bad kind of duality that really, really doesn't help anyone. So it's kind of also having a bit of a change in our language, so not looking at things as good or bad, and just looking at things as, does this help me? Does this help my child to be the person that whoever they were meant to be, really? And I suppose longer term, I think it goes back to what I was originally saying about, I think compassionate parenting is about community. That, how lovely would it be if everyone accepted parents and accepted children without judgment, without comparisons, without creating this need for anyone to be the perfect parent and for children to be these amazingly well-behaved, well-controlled people, and letting go of all of that. So, I think, like I was saying, what would be really amazing is to have a shift in the way we see things as a community and as a society, that everyone is doing the best that they can, and and parents should be supported, not kind of judged and criticized if their child is doing something. And so even I think what would be really great is even people who are non-parents, or grandparents, anybody else, aunts and uncles, for them to really start understanding children's behaviour, for them to come from a place of compassion for both parents and children, so we can have a world where children grow up without all these kind of restrictions and feeling that they need to fit into how things are done. And then if you don't fit in, immediately you feel like either you failed or you're bad. And so we don't want that kind of, for the next generation of children to be left with that kind of feelings, that they're not good enough. And then that whole stage of I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm not acceptable. And then to go on this, how many years of, riding the waves until you find yourself again, or not, or you could live in and be completely unaware that your childhood is having a massive impact, and blaming everything that shows up in your life, and or just feeling like you're the victim. All these things are happening to you, and so you're not able to shift anything or change anything.
Yeah, and ultimately, all we want is the best for our children, or my kids, my
Yeah,
nieces
yeah.
and nephews. Just
And best for parents as well, for them to feel really supported, so they don't feel like they're always on the back foot trying to explain away their children's behavior, trying to explain why, why
yeah.
children are the way they are. For everyone to just be a bit more mindful and compassionate and accepting.
I was going to say, I was going to use the compassionate word again. I was thinking, yeah, tolerance, compassion, and understanding. When you think, the vast majority of people around are parents, so you'd expect them to be more. We just want to be as Kara's just saying. Oh, show that one. Yeah, she's saying, yeah, we just want the best, and
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and we all want the best. So we why give anyone a hard time, or why yeah, exactly, why would you want people to think that they have to explain all the time? And that's
Yeah. And
which is
isn't it a strange thing that we all want the best, and somehow what we end up sometimes doing is not going there because we're trying too hard to change things. So yeah, absolutely, we do want the best, and sometimes that is about actually doing less and then just being. And I think that is so key.
that's so true. That's so true. So how for you, Tanya, how do you see your future in developing this, and what you currently focusing on?
So yeah, so I would really, this is what I have a passion about. So this is what I want to be doing, and I want to be doing this all the time because I love it. So I would like to create some programs around parenting,
Oh, nice.
maybe some group programs, also do some, one-to-one work. So yeah, I'd like to. I mean, there's so many different things that I could go into, and I am doing some kind of live talks all about something that I get asked a lot is how do we get children to listen to us? I'm having to repeat
Oh,
myself a million times, or I end up shouting, or I end up bribing and using rewards and threats, and so it's kind of giving parents some kind of ideas about what they can do themselves. Rather, here's a tip and a strategy that you can do to your child. It's kind of, how do we make ourselves heard? What do we need to do? So, we get listened to. Because I know that's an experience that a lot of people have, is not being heard, not being listened to. So I do feel that, if you can shift this in one area, you can shift it in other areas.
yeah.
So if you can be heard by somebody else, then you know how to communicate, so you can be heard by your child as well. So
Yeah.
there's so many things when it comes to parenting, so many different areas to work, to talk about. And
Yeah. Oh well, so just from talking to you, Tanya, your caring and your passion for your subject comes
thank you.
through in spades. So have you actually got a Facebook group or any
I haven't
groups?
got a Facebook group, but I've got a website,
Oh, cool.
which
Yeah,
is shall I say what it is?
go for it.
So it's
I'm gonna type it
www.fullcircle
in there. www dot
full circle hypnotherapy
full circle hypnotherapy.
.co.uk.
I hope I've spelled that right. Tell me if it's wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, that's
I've got my profile page, so people can find me on my profile page, and I have got a business page on Facebook, which is Full Circle Hypnotherapy Manchester.
That's right. Yes, I did see it. What I'll do at the end of this, we'll drop those links in the comments.
Okay, fantastic.
On those where to get you. And we can we can do that. We can put that in the YouTube and on
Brilliant.
Facebook as well. And so yeah, I mean, so do you think is it just sheer time pressures or you need to set some time apart in order to write some material?
I'm constantly writing things. I'm constantly writing. I've just written a blog actually,
Oh,
so
cool.
I'm going to get that published, which is all about listening. And I'm always, I'm trying to post on Facebook and LinkedIn and different areas. So so I'm always writing things and I'm always creating things, which I love doing.
Oh, that's the thing, it's we just need to get stuff out. We've never had such a. Often say it to clients. We've never had it so good as to get your message out, and everyone wants to be heard.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to voice their opinion, but it's actually getting you heard. And we've just the plethora of social media platforms out there is beautiful. So we can always find someone. And do you specialize? From my marketing hat on now, do we talk about the compassionate parenting? Do you specialize in any type of parent, or is it just in general? So would you look at a certain demographic of parent, young parent, older parent?
So my focus is mainly mums who are struggling with their children's behaviour. So I'm not specialising as in, children who've got additional needs. It's just anyone who kind of feels that, that they wish their child was a little bit different. They feel like they're really struggling with their children's behaviour, like all the things that everybody normally has, like children not listening, being really demanding, and all of those kind of things. Or where a parent is kind of aware that their child is really triggering them, and so they know that it's something about them that's really, and it could be that you have more than one child, but one particular child really triggers you. And so it's working with what's going on for me. Why is it that I'm finding it so hard to relate to this child? Or why is it that, I'm fine with my oldest, but with this child, they just have me on my knees, kind of thing. What's going on there?
Yeah,
So it's kind of looking at our own triggers.
yeah. I was going to say it's the evil child. I'm joking. There are no evil children. But I got to admit, I look at my siblings. There's 4 of us in total, and yeah, the first 2 from ask my mum. The first 2, no problem whatsoever. Third one, he was a little bit different. And then the 4th one was quite cute. So, but yeah, it's difficult, though, isn't it? If you've had a couple of children that I say I don't speak from experience on this, but from witnessing it, when you've had children that have been absolutely no bother, and then you have one that will challenge you, then that must be quite a strange thing to cope with.
Mm. And so it's even looking at those labels that we give children, that as soon as we do label a child as challenging, then how is it that we adjust our behavior towards them? And then how is it that they adjust themselves? So then you start having this little dance, of this label is making me behave like this towards my child, and then the child has to adjust what they're doing. And then it just leads to a dynamic that just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
So it's really about kind of releasing some of the charge that goes with the labels. So then you can be truly, again, be truly present.
That's it. And again, from my own personal experience, if you label a child, then that child will normally live up to the label that you give it. So
absolutely, yeah. I'm sure we've all had labels, haven't we? And then we kind of think, I have absolutely lived up to this label that was given to me, and then you have to work out how to kind of disentangle yourself from that label so you can be free to be whoever you were meant to be, rather than being kind of I suppose labels stop us from really kind of reaching our potential, from really being who we are.
Oh, I think so. I was labelled shy, and that was I carried that. I was just shy for the majority of my adult life. Now you can't shut me. So yeah, that's what. So yeah, if you're shy, just create your own live stream show. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
You get to meet really interesting people. So cool. Have you got any final words that you want to share, Tania?
Any final words? Yeah, I guess it's just about learning to let go of expectations of how you thought you would show up as a parent, and letting go of expectations of how you thought your child would show up for you. And so when you let go of those expectations, you're not then again being confined by how everybody else wants you to be. Yeah.
Oh no, perfect. Oh, and Cara, thank you, Cara. Great conversation today. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Cara.
You've been so chatty, eloquent, and it's been an absolute joy, Tania. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick.
And so I'm going to just close the show, so don't go away.
So can I just say thank you so much for having me on this, Nick?
Oh,
thank you so much. It's been lovely to chat to you. It's been really lovely, and you've asked some great questions. So, what a nice man you are.
oh my God!
There's the label for you.
Too much already. Well, yeah, I like that label. As labels go, I'll take that. Thank you, Tania. I'll speak to you in just 2 shakes.
Okay.
But listen, guys, again, I am blessed with having amazing guests coming on the show. I really appreciate it. That was lovely, Tania. All the links that we talked about, I'll pop into the comments below when we're off air. We've got a couple of corkers coming up for you next week. We've got people from across the pond. So either they're going to be getting up super early, or we might be putting the show on a little bit later. And also, I just wanted to trail one, the 2nd of September. Keep that date in your diary. It's an interview that I'm going to be a touch nervous about, because I'll be interviewing one of my video gurus and marketing gurus, Brandon Lachera from California. He's coming on, what he hasn't taught me about video probably isn't worth knowing, to be honest. So have an amazing day. Like I say, stick that one in your diary, especially if you're into marketing and video in particular. that man knows an incredible amount. So